A degree apprenticeship isn't a real job, and that's going to change how the application process works. And the problem with this is a lot of the sources on the internet that you might find for getting a degree apprenticeship is actually just resources for how to get a job. And the problem is, a degree apprenticeship isn't a real job. It's completely different to a real job. It's like when I was going through my application process, I was like looking at like LinkedIn articles, like Indeed articles that are saying, "Oh, do this, do this, do this." But the problem is those sort of bits of content, information, advice are based towards real jobs. And a degree apprenticeship isn't like that. A degree apprenticeship is not a real job. The application process is different, and you have to approach it in a different way. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. It's going to be a bit of an opinion piece as well. It's going to be helpful as well, but also going into some of my opinions. I think a lot of people are going to actually disagree with some of the things I say in this video. Maybe, honestly, I'll say some things, and some people will be like, "Oh no, and I don't think that's true." Put it in the comments, man. If you disagree with anything I'm saying in this video, I'd love to hear you. So put it in the comments down below. Just before we do get into it, just to introduce myself, my name's Owen, I'm a degree apprentice, and I help people get degree apprenticeships in the engineering, technology, and finance industries. Last year, I helped people get degree apprenticeships at companies like Amazon, JLR, KPMG, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, and this year I'm helping people as well. If you do want sort of my personalised help, if this is going to work, which it will, there we go. This is my free community. We've already helped people this year get offers from companies like EY, HSBC. So if you want to come in here and ask any questions, have a look at some of the content, then it'll be the link down in the description. It's completely free. You can come and join it. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get into this. A degree apprenticeship isn't a real job. That's going to change how the application process works, and here's what you need to know. Okay, so let's talk about a real job. Okay, here's the reality of a real job. First things first, for a real job, there's probably dozens of candidates, okay? And there's usually going to be one vacancy, okay? It might be like a opening for a one senior software engineer or one project manager or one project director, right? Or one civils technician or something, right? By the way, when I say real job, I mean like I mean like a job at the same company as a degree apprenticeship, but just not a degree apprenticeship. Like say you wanted to go work for Amazon, there's the software developer degree apprenticeship, but I'm talking about if Amazon wanted to hire like a senior software engineer. Okay, here I'm not talking about like Tesco's or anything like that. I'm talking about the same companies you guys want to work for, JP Morgan, Amazon, JLR, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, companies like these, but not a degree apprenticeship. Maybe a real job for someone who's like 25, 30, 45, 50 or whatever. There's a vacancy, boom, we want a project manager, we want a senior software engineer, we want a data analyst, okay? Probably dozens of candidates and usually one vacancy, and there's going to be one recruiter who's sort of covering that, maybe the head of the division, something like that, who wants to sort of fill that place. Okay, three more things. At this point, what's going to be really important is like having real work experience on projects. Because if you're like 30 and you're going to apply for a job at different companies, like a senior or assistant engineer or something like that, like a chartered engineer or whatever, you can have real work experience from like 10 years in the industry that you've been doing on real life projects. You're going to be able to go into the interview, go into your application and show off that real work experience. You're also going to have a real reference from a real employer where basically like your previous employer will be able to say, "Oh yeah, he worked on these projects, yeah, he did this, he managed this team, he increased our sales revenue by 20%, he coded this, whatever, he led this successful project that got us £220,000 of revenue," whatever. There's like a real sort of description there that the employee can give on what you've done. Then also it might be rare or prestigious qualifications, because at this point, if you're like 30, 35, okay, you're a chartered engineer, maybe you got the specific degree, maybe you got the specific masters, it'll be something a bit more complex, maybe some project management accreditation that you've done, right? So there's some sort of rare and prestigious qualifications that you've got that sort of make you an individual. Okay, now I want you to have a think about this, because now I'm going to do the degree apprenticeship comparison. So pause the video for a second and just have a think about what am I now going to say on the other side that's going to be different from like a real job compared to just the degree apprenticeship that everyone wants to get into when they're 18. Okay, have a think about it, pause the video now, and then let's see my thoughts on this. Degree apprenticeship, hundreds, thousands of applicants, right? And there can be anywhere in terms of roles. It's not really going to be one vacancy. It can be one sometimes, but usually it's dozens of vacancies. You look at companies like JP Morgan, JLR, Amazon, they're taking on stacks of degree apprentices. Okay, so it's like there's a huge number of vacancies there, but there's loads of applicants, hundreds, thousands. I think it's like JP Morgan 2023, something like 130 candidates for one role, which is mental, right? Which is absolutely mental. There's so many people applying. And because there's so many people applying, so many vacancies, it's not going to be handled by one recruiter or one hiring manager or just one person. It's just it's like an entire recruitment department. Like some companies literally going to have like degree apprenticeship recruiters who go through the whole thing. Your interviewers are going to be some random person. It's not going to be one specific contact person who's going to be covering that, who you know is going to be interviewing, who you know is going to be going through your CV. Okay, and we'll get into this a bit later in the what this means section. Because in this what this means section, I'll give you some sort of practical tips on what this actually means for how you should approach the degree apprenticeship application process. Now, let's go into these. When you got a real job, you're going to have real work experience. Let's just be completely honest at this point. For degree apprenticeships, I tell you guys to go and get work experience, and on your CV you're gonna have a work experience section. But let's just be honest for a second, okay? Let's just keep it at $150, right? When we say work experience, what we mean is you did a 6-hour course on SpringPod, which was titled Virtual Work Experience, and all you needed to do was watch like 5 hours of video, and then you had to write like a quick Word document and submit it to like the SpringPod team. Like, we call it work experience, it's called just sitting there and watching a course. Same with like, even if you have like in-person work experience at a company. It's not like you're actually like working on a proper project or doing anything. You were sort of there for 1 week, just around, just shadowing people, meeting people. Maybe they gave you some really basic tasks that you did under supervision, but you didn't really actually do anything crazy. Maybe you learned a lot of stuff, but you didn't really do anything. Okay, if we're just keeping it at $150, the work experience is very minimal. It's like, it's a stretch calling it work experience. We'll call it work experience, but it's not really. Okay, in terms of your reference, basically everyone's reference is going to be your school teacher, saying, yeah, he got good grades and he speaks up in class, and I really think he's a hardworking and dedicated individual. There's no like actual, as a software engineer he coded this thing for us and it increased our revenue by 34%. That's something you might have done when you're like 30, 35. There was this company you worked for 5 years and you like went up their software engineering department and you ended up like managing it and like all this sort of stuff. There's none of that. It's just your school teacher saying like you speak up in class. There's no actual solid background to you there. Same with like this one, right? Going for a real job, you might be a chartered engineer, you might have this project management qualification, something that, okay, maybe you only got when you're 30, it's quite difficult to get. Here you just have like an A-level in maths and an A-level in physics, or like an A-level in economics, or you have a BTEC in this, which in the scale of the whole universe, basically every single person has. Okay, in the scale of the universe, like every single person. I know obviously there are people who don't, but it's like there are so like out of these hundreds and thousands, everyone has this application. If they want anyone else with A-level maths, boom, A-level maths, boom, 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 boom. They can just scattergun. They can get anyone they need with those qualifications. There's nothing rare or prestigious about these qualifications because like everyone can get them. Who are applying? Obviously, not everyone in the whole world, or like obviously not everyone does them, but the people who are applying, basically everyone has them. Okay. So what does this mean? This means you have to go through the application process differently, and this is what this whole video is about. Is because when you might see people not in the degree apprenticeship space, so just general get a job, just general how to get into finance or how to get into technology, how to get a job, how to ace your interview, they're all coming from this pool. They're all coming from this sort of lens, this perspective of, okay, there's one recruiter, we've got this work experience, we've got this, we've got this, we've got this, but that's not the situation. They don't really understand the situation. So this is why I just wanted to make this video specifically for degree apprenticeships and what this means. So, for a real job, you could be an irreplaceable candidate because there's only dozens of them. Not everyone in the, like, if you go into it with like 20 years of project management experience and you've got this project management qualification, there might not be anyone else who has that. There might be a couple of people who've got 1 year's experience who have nothing. And if you have 20 years experience, boom, they're going to eat you up. I don't know why I said that. They're just going to like employ you, right? Because if you have experience, they're just going to snatch you up, right? They want you, okay? In the degree apprenticeship application process, you're replaceable. Okay, and we'll go into what this actually means. But like, just understand, like, you are replaceable. And that might seem kind of harsh. Maybe to some people that seems harsh, but it's like, it's true. Like, there's nothing really that's specifically going to be like special about you or your application. And we'll get into why this is relevant. But like, everyone has done the SpringPod thing. Everyone has got their teacher saying this. Everyone's got the A-levels. It's like, there's nothing standing you out there. With a real job, experience plays a huge part, because if they've got someone with 15 years industry experience, boom, let's get it. Let's do it. Right? Also, there's personality as well, because you want to fit into the team. You want someone who's going to align with your values. With a degree apprenticeship, personality, character, and social skills are very, very important. Okay, I think that's something to bear in mind when you're going through this application process, is these are so important. Because like I said, at the end of the day, no one has any legit experience. Like, people have a SpringPod course and, I spent 1 week like watching my dad at his office or something, right? So it's like, that's not differentiating. They're not going to hire you because, do you know what I mean? Like, two people, one of them did a 6-hour SpringPod course and one of them didn't. Like, obviously the guy who's done the 6-hour course is slightly more dedicated, but it's not day and night. because in that 6 hour course, you probably didn't learn anything that crazy. Whereas on this left side here with a real job, it's like someone with 1 year of experience compared to someone with 20 years of experience. Of course, you can get the 20 years of experience. Boom, this guy's got so much experience. He's worked on these projects. The biggest project I've worked in was like a $3 million project, right? Of course, you're going to get that guy. But here, it's less a differentiating factor. Here, experience is a huge differentiating factor. Here, it's not. And this is why personality, character, and social skills are very, very, very important. Okay? What this means is for a degree apprenticeship, remember, degree apprenticeship on the right-hand side, real jobs on the left, interviewability is crucial. Is crucial. Okay, obviously, when you're going for a real job, like in 20 years' time, you're going to want to be good at interviews, like obviously. But it's less important. Again, don't twist my words here. I'm not saying you can just not be able to speak English and you can't do an interview and you're going to get like a job at like Meta or something. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, however much percentage you want to weigh it up between like experience and interview ability, right? Like on paper application versus in-person interview and how you talk. Let's just hypothetically say it's a 50-50. I've absolutely no idea for real jobs, but let's just hypothetically say it's 50-50, right? All I'm saying is it's less important on this one. So it's more likely for a degree apprenticeship, it's like 75% interview, 25% experience. Okay? Because like I said, the experience it's not that significant. Like, you've done a course, congratulations, right? So what am I saying then? Just to sort of summarize here. Am I saying, guys, don't do any work experience, don't do any 6 hour courses? Absolutely not. Go and do these, okay? But that's not going to do all the talking. And I'll get into why in a second, but that's not going to do all the talking, okay? You're going to do the talking. You need this because really, with this job, they're employing you based on your past. Because like I said, maybe you're 40. They're applying you on the past 15 years, 20 years of stuff you've been doing. They're hiring you based on your past. Here, they're hiring you based on your future because we don't have a past. Because you're like 18. Congratulations, you've done A-level maths. You can now do quadratic equations. Congratulations, you did like an online course with SpringPod. Now you know slightly more, but you forgot it all anyway, so it's irrelevant, right? Here, they're just looking at your personality, your character, your social skills. Not just, but they're more looking at that. They're looking at your values. They're looking at your potential. And your potential, like you need to show to them you have a good potential. You have an amazing potential. You're going to grow into a great employee. That's going to help their company for many years to come. You don't show that potential by doing a 6 hour course. You show that potential through your interview ability, where you can show personality, you can show character, you're going to show you're going to be able to fit within the team. Okay, so if you take nothing away from this video, we're going to go into some more stuff in a second, but if you just even stop here, and if you get nothing else, really focus on your interviews. Because you really want to show that personality and character. You can be someone who's done the most SpringPod in the world, but if someone else only done one SpringPod and they're good at interviews, they're going to get the job instead of you. Because they show more potential. They show they're going to fit in the team. They show they're a real person. Okay? Don't, in like poker where you go all in, don't go all in on SpringPod and then get to the interview and realise you can't speak English. Because it's not just your experience. It's not just the paper doing the talking. You have to do the talking. Because you need to show that potential. You don't show that potential by things in the past. You show that potential by talking about who you are. Okay? The reason I even thought of this video in the first place is because someone I'd know has emailed or messaged me like a couple of days ago, basically saying, I think it might have been a YouTube comment actually. He put a comment saying the grades are like AAB or something, and I'm one grade below. I've got ABB, and this is actually a common question that I've had over the past 6 months. Right? If I don't meet the grade, should I apply anyway? And the reason they gave me the idea to film this video is because the guy specifically said, I don't meet the grades, but I believe I have really good work experience because I've done some SpringPod courses and I've had an in-person placement. But he doesn't meet the grades. And this is where I want to sort of I don't know, maybe red pill everyone here, but it's like, you're replaceable. Okay, you say you have good work experience, like you've done SpringPod, you've done in person. So has everyone else. And again, this is why I said people are going to disagree with this video. Fair enough. If you want to click off this video, that's fine. But a lot of people want to say, oh yeah, I'm a really good candidate. I've got really good experience. which is like, so does everyone else. Like, most people have good experience. Obviously, there'll be someone who's like never even like watched one of my videos and they've no idea what Springpod is and they like haven't done anything, and then they're going to apply and they're going to get rejected. Fair enough. But most people, once you've watched like a couple of my videos, okay, do like 3 Springpod, do an online course, do a club, be like a school prefect or something, right? And then everyone's application is the same. So although you might say, yep, I've got great work experience, it's like, you're replaceable, man. Honestly, if I literally had 1,000 people applying to my company, do you think I'm going to choose the one person whose grades are below the requirements? Probably not, because like, I've got 100 other people who have the same experience as you, but at least they're above the grades. It's not worth the risk. So I'm just not going to do it. Okay, so the guy who commented that, I'm not hating on you at all. All I'm saying is this is basically my general answer now. When people ask me this question, should I apply if I'm just below the grades, even though I have great work experience? Probably not, because it's just like, just think about it from their perspective. Why would they hire you if you're below the grades? They've got 100 other people who are above the grades. Like, they've got 100 other people who have 3A stars predicted. So, like, if you want to apply, go for it, right? Because it's like, maybe the company will randomly let you in even though you're below the grades. But they probably will. Maybe there's like a 1% chance. I very much doubt they won't. So probably just don't even waste your time. Don't bother. That's one side of it. Does the company want to like take you on with lower grades? But then also another side is like, sometimes the universities, they literally won't take anyone on. So even if like the company are okay with taking on someone who's slightly lower, which they're probably not, but let's just say they are. Let's say the company's fine with taking on someone who has slightly lower grades. Sometimes and most of the time the university has like stringent deadlines. Like, the university just won't let you at all. So that's usually why those grade boundaries aren't really flexible. Okay. Give me 1 second. Apologies. I have a cold right now. I filmed a video in September. It was like, I don't know what I called it. It was like, message to your future self, or please don't let this be you in 9 months' time. Basically, in August last year, I was getting so many emails from people saying things like, oh, I didn't get a degree apprenticeship offer this year. And that was one side of it. They just hadn't put enough work and they hadn't got an offer. And yeah, it's like too late by then in August. Another side of it was people had got an offer, but then they missed their A-level grades. They might have got an offer. Okay, here's your degree apprenticeship. We need to get 3 A's. And they didn't get 3 A's. And they will message me like, oh, Owen, are they gonna let me in? Are they gonna like change the grades? Are they gonna like do it flexible? Are they gonna let me off? And I'm just like, probably not. Because why would they? They've got 100 other people who did get the grades. And then on top of that, there's the university thing as well. Like, the universities, a lot of them, those are the minimum grades. They're not going to change it for you. So, like, two messages I want to say from this. Number one is, if you are looking at applying to a company and you don't have the grades, probably just don't bother. Like, it's just a waste of time. Okay? I wouldn't. But number two, those of you who, now you have applied to a company, maybe you get an offer, right? Please get your grades. And, like, obviously no one's going to sit here and, like, plan to not get... Oh yeah, and I'm just going to purposely fail my A-level. Like, I know what you're saying, but just make sure you do the work in now. Because, I don't want to get those emails again in August. I don't want to get them where, hey, Owen... Because, like, yeah, in March, oh, hey, Owen, I just got my dream offer. It was from JLR. Same person in August. Oh, hey, Owen, I didn't get my grades, so I'm having to go to university now. Like, I just don't... I don't want to see that, man. Because if it's like, you've put all the hard work in getting the offer, like, honestly, the offer's the hard bit, and then you just do your A-levels, right? Please make sure you put in your work for the A-levels. I'm filming this now and it's like January. A-levels are going to end in like, what, June? So it's 6 months. Is it 6? No, it's 5 months. 5 months. I really want you guys to work hard. And I don't want you to regret anything. I don't want you to get to results day in August and wish you'd worked hard, okay? All the stuff you want to do, just delay it. Just do it in the summer, man, honestly. Yeah, we'll move on, man. I don't want to get stuck on that, but I just wanted to add that message in there as well, which is like, a real job, maybe there's some leniency with the requirements, because it's like, do you know what I mean? If there's someone with 25 years of experience, but he doesn't have this one grade, bro, who cares about the grade? Like, university's irrelevant anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? Let's just get him in. He's got 25 years of experience. I really couldn't care less, right? But at this stage, it's like we don't have that much. We have like literally no experience, and there's hundreds of thousands of applicants. You're replaceable, so grades are important. Grades are like really not interchangeable. Okay, bear that in mind, please. Same with deadlines. Honestly, I remember some guy last year messaged me like, "Oh, I just missed." You know, Amazon has like Arctic Shores as one of its stages. And like you have a deadline, so you get sent the email, and it's like, I don't know, 5 days, 7 days to go and do the Arctic Shores. And the guy messaged me and he was like, "Hey Owen, I just like missed my Arctic Shores Amazon deadline. Do you think if I email them, they let me do it again?" And I'm just like, probably not. Like, why would they? They have thousands of applicants, and 90% of those have the organisation and the time management, and honestly, the brain cells to do their thing on time. Like, I'm being a bit brutal here, but I'll be honest. Do you know what I mean? Though 90% of people organise, you weren't. What do you want me to say to you? If I was them, I wouldn't, because it's like if I've got 1,000 people, I'm not going to choose the one person who was late on one thing I told them to do. Because if you're late on the online testing, you're going to be late when they ask you to do a project. You're going to be late on your university work. You're going to be late on this. You're going to be late on everything. You're going to be a hassle. You're going to be bad at your job. I don't want to hire you. Again, I'm not a recruitment company. I'm not Amazon, right? I don't know. Maybe if you were late with Arctic Shores and you sent them like some email, like apologizing or saying something stupid, maybe they'd be like, "Oh yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, let's just let's just hire you straight away. You know what? Let's just forget about the assessment center." They're probably not going to do that, right? They're probably just going to say, "You missed the deadline. See you later, big man." Okay, so that's another one to bear in mind, and this can be an easy mistake because like the emails just come through randomly, just like daily occurrence for the next 5 months. Check your emails, okay, and also monitor your phone because sometimes most of the time actually when companies are booking their assessment centers or giving you an offer, rather than emailing you, they call you. And it can come from some random number, like some random +440787.2, right? Just some random number. I don't really even pick up like calls from people I know, right? So when I was getting calls from random numbers, of course I'm not picking you up because I just don't want to talk to you, right? It turned out like a couple of days later, I realized it was companies trying to call me, telling me that I'd got through to the assessment center. And luckily, because I did like actually get back to them, we managed to book the assessment center. There was someone else who I helped get into. What company was he? Deloitte. And Deloitte called him, and they called him for like 5 days before he actually picked up and realized it was them because some random number. So please be aware of this, okay? You don't want to get caught out because you missed an email or you missed a phone call. Just for the next 5 months, check your emails every single day. Okay, and if there's any weird numbers on your phone, pick them up. Salary negotiation, that's going to happen in a normal job, right? You're going to be able to do that. And that's where you're going to be able to leverage your experience because you have this experience. If I've got 25 years of experience, just go negotiate a salary which is like 10k higher. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Because like you actually have stuff to back it up. You don't have stuff to back it up here. It's because I think I got a question from someone like in like October, like, "Oh yeah, can I negotiate a salary?" I'm like, honestly, if you do negotiate a salary, like, because you know they have like the set salary, like, oh, JLR 25,700 or something, right? And it'll be like JP Morgan's like 24,000 or something, right? If someone manages to negotiate a starting salary higher than that, genuinely message me or email me, and I will jump on a call with you because I want to find out about that and what you did because that's mental. Like, if someone manages that, I wouldn't recommend trying to go for it. But if someone manages it, message me, man, and we'll jump straight on a call and I want to hear your story. But, like, it's not going to happen because, like, why would I pay you more when, like, I've got 100 other people who want this job who I can just pay less? Like, I'm not going to randomly pay more because, like, you're replaceable, right? Okay? So that's just an interesting one in case anyone has that question. Like, it becomes a later thing where in like year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, do you know what I mean? Once you've started, then fair enough. You're actually working on stuff. Oh, I did a really good job this year. I think I deserve this. Fine. If you want to go have that conversation, go have that conversation. All I'm saying is a starting salary. It's not happening. It's not happening. Final thing I want to move on to, and this is one that specifically I think comes around from like just using general interview sources on the like general interview advice on the internet, because general interview advice is all like, oh yeah, post on LinkedIn, connect with the recruiter on LinkedIn, message them beforehand, say how you're looking forward to meeting with them, etc., etc., stand out. Again, that works for a real job where there's one recruiter. Like, sure, go message her beforehand and say how you're looking forward to it, fine. Here, you're not even going to know who the recruiter is. They have like an entire recruitment department. And this is why this is one of the reasons why I gave up on LinkedIn. I ended up deleting my LinkedIn before even applying. You don't know who the recruiter is. You can go and connect with some random like recruitment person. Like most likely they have nothing to do with your application process because there's probably like 10 people deciding things. 9 of them don't even know who you are. It's like you getting interviewed by some random person. There's just no point. Okay. And like, yeah, this LinkedIn about your awards and project successes and this sort of thing, but it's like, what are your project successes? Congratulations, I did a 6-hour course. Do you know what I mean? It helps, maybe it helps, but again, I don't think it's mandatory. Okay, I got my 8 offers without LinkedIn. Okay, and I think this messaging thing, it's just a waste of time because you're not even going to know who it is. So that's just my sort of opinion on everything, on how a degree apprenticeship is different from a real job. Okay, maybe it was a bit like red pilling by the time we got to the end of the video, but like I think it'll help. Just to be honest about it, right? You're replaceable. So basically, you have to make sure you're keeping yourself to the highest standards possible. Because the moment you slip on something, whether it's grade, whether it's deadlines, anything like that, they got 100 other people, man. Okay, and because you're replaceable, and everyone basically has the same Springpod work experience, like it's on it. That's just to be honest, everyone has the same experience. The one thing that's not the one thing, but like one of the major things that's going to separate you is your personality, character, and social skills. And how do you show your personality, character, and social skills? That's going to be through the interview. So you need to be good at your interview ability. Okay, also your group exercise ability as well, to be fair, but interview ability you want to be good at. So I hope you found this video useful. If you do want to watch a video now about how to get better at your interviews in terms of personality, character, and social skills, I'll go put a video on the left, which you can go and watch. And if you did enjoy this video, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, if anyone disagreed with anything, think I'm wrong, I'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in a bit. Take care. Bye.